Welcome to the Unraveling the Scriptures channel. It's been quite some time since I created a video addressing the origin of Black Africans according to the Bible. This video received a great response here on YouTube, with many people enjoying it and requesting a continuation or further discussions on the topic. Therefore, I am excited to present to all of you a second part on the origin of blacks according to the Bible, focusing on their biblical origins, including the rise of Kush, one of the sons of Ham and one of the ancestors of African peoples. Additionally, we will explore history, genetics, linguistics, and much more. So, I invite you all to leave your likes, comments, subscribe to the channel, and help share the videos so that we can reach more people interested in learning about the various lineages of Ham's descendants. The rise of Kush and the origin of blacks according to the Bible. Although we know that the descendants of Kush settled primarily in Africa, giving rise to various ancient civilizations on the continent, the Bible also tells us that one of his specific descendants became mighty in the land. He is described as virtually the first king after the Great Flood, and this man was Cush's son named Nimrod. In the book of Genesis, chapter 10, verses 9 and 10, we find intriguing information about Nimrod. He was recognized as the boldest and bravest of hunters before the Lord, giving rise to the saying, "Mighty as Nimrod." Initially, his kingdom encompassed Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Babylon, or, in other versions, in the lands of Shinar. Verse 11 reports that he expanded his domain to Assyria, where he founded Nineveh, Rehoboth-ir, Calah, and also Rezin. An intriguing curiosity is that the Sumerians were very possibly descendants of Kush and, by extension, the enigmatic Nimrod. It is known that Kush was the progenitor of Nimrod, a powerful figure on earth, a king who established the foundations of the cities where the Sumerians dwelled. They did not originate from the lineage of Shem or Japheth, their primordial lineage dates back to Kush. It is plausible that over time, genetic mixtures occurred, incorporating other Semitic or even Japhetic populations into their genetic heritage. However, their ancestry traces back to Kush, just like Nimrod's. The Sumerians themselves referred to themselves as Ungang Sanguinga, in Sumerian, which translates literally as, the people of the black faces. The major civilizations that originated from the descendants of Kush and inhabited the African territory, as described in history, include the ancient Nubians, who lived near the Egyptians, and the Ethiopians of Ethiopia, also descendants of Kush. The term Kush has its etymological origin and meanings associated with ancient Hebrew and Aramaic. In both ancient languages, Kush, referring to the character son of Ham, is translated as Ethiopia, or Ethiopians, in both contemporary and ancient Bibles. The word Ethiopia derives from Greek, initially as Ethiopia, and also from Latin, with a similar term, Ethiops. In both Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic, the term Kush or Ethiopia, which is translated as Ethiopia, has a basic meaning of black or simply dark. In Greek, the term Ethiopia originates from an ancient expression that basically means burnt faces, etymologically derived from the words face and burn. The ancient Romans referred to the populations living south of Egypt as Ethiopians. The primary origin of the term Kush is not in Latin, Greek, Hebrew, or Aramaic but is more precisely a loan from ancient Aramaic or Hebrew, used to describe Upper Nubia. This term has its roots in the ancient Egyptian language. The form Kush is found in Egyptian records since the reign of Mentuhotep II, around 2,100 years before Christ, in inscriptions detailing his campaigns against the region of Nubia. Kush's father was Ham, whose ancient Hebrew name is Kem, possibly derived from an ancient Hebrew word meaning burnt, black, or even hot. Some relate the term Ham or Kem in Hebrew to an Egyptian word that basically means majesty, while others suggest that the word Ham has some connection with Kemet, which literally means Egypt. Therefore, The etymology of the name, Ham, may originate from ancient Hebrew or be a loanword from the Egyptian, Kemet. The term, Kemet, or Kamat, in ancient Egyptian would have the meaning of black. It is important to remember that, according to ancient Jewish traditions and interpretations of Genesis chapter 10, Egypt was founded by one of the descendants of Ham, the brother of Kush and Mizraim. So much so that to this day, Egypt is called Mizraim by both Arabs and Jews. Despite migrations and intermixing over centuries and millennia, the primordial and native Egypt descended from Ham. The book of Genesis, in chapter 10, verses 7 and 8, mentions that Cush was the father of at least 6 sons, likely being polygamous and having more sons and daughters. The names of Cush's sons mentioned in the text are Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Rama, and Sabtika. These 5 sons gave rise to different populations that inhabit the African continent today, including various black peoples. In addition to the native peoples of Africa, the Kushites also influenced populations outside the continent. The migrations of Kushite tribes apparently contributed to the emergence of countries near the region of Sudan and Ethiopia. These tribes also moved to other regions, where they gave rise to different ethnic groups, all descendants of Kush from Sudan and Ethiopia. They migrated to Kenya, Somalia, Tanzania, Uganda, and even to the Chad region, among other places, generating diverse populations, such as those of Niger and Nigeria, far beyond the African continent. Additionally, the Kushites also reached the Asian continent, leaving their descendants in the region that corresponds to India today. The original peoples of India were all Kushites, and even today it is possible to find, especially in the southern region, people with a similar appearance to Africans, both in their skin color and their physiognomy. The descendants of Ham migrated to Asia and settled in the region that now comprises India, with genetic and historical evidence indicating that the region was initially inhabited by peoples from the region currently occupied by Ethiopia and Sudan. For millennia, the Dravidian population notably exhibits African traits in their appearance, such as darker skin, a common characteristic among Dravidians, who have their roots in ancient Africans who migrated to the region. While some may notice similarities with Africans, others may observe that Indians, both from the north and the south, have distinct characteristics, such as straighter hair, due to intermixing that occurred millennia ago with the Indo-Aryans, descendants of Japheth. This intermixing left distinctive traits in the Dravidian peoples, resulting in the phenotypic diversity observed in India today. Yes, it's true that India possesses an impressive diversity, with significant variations in skin tone and ethnic ancestry. In the north, it's common to find people with lighter shades, resulting from the ancestry of the Indo-Aryans and ancient Persians, both descendants of Japheth through his son Madai, who is considered the progenitor of the Medo-Persians in the Bible. This is one of the undeniable pieces of evidence of the influence of these groups in India. Another notable example of diversity is represented by the Andamanese population, who inhabit an island south of India. The Andamanese bear striking similarities to Africans from Ethiopia and Sudan and are distinct for not having intermixed with other ethnic groups present in India, such as the Indo-Aryans and Persians. This highlights that some populations in India have maintained their unique ethnic identity over time. This ethnic diversity in India reflects the migration and settlement of various populations throughout history. The descendants of Ham, the Hamites, didn't confine themselves to Africa but also migrated to Asia, including India, contributing to the formation of its populations. This is part of the history of the rise of Kush, Ham's son, who gave rise to various populations in Africa, India, Oceania, and other regions of the world, characterized by darker skin tones. Despite some theories suggesting that dark skin tone is a result of climate, biblical creationism, which attributes this characteristic as an inheritance from Ham, contradicts this idea. The ethnic and phenotypic diversity in India and other parts of the world is a manifestation of the richness and complexity of human origins. In essence, biblical creationism diverges significantly from the evolutionary view, which suggests that climatic conditions shaped skin color over time. According to biblical creationism, this explanation doesn't hold, as ethnic groups like the Semites, who have inhabited the Middle East for millennia, an extremely hot region, don't necessarily have dark skin. The same applies to the Berber populations of northeastern Africa and the Maghreb, who don't have the same skin pigmentation as Africans from sub-Saharan regions. Biblical creationism argues that physical characteristics, including skin color, were inherited from Noah and his wife, who in turn descend from Adam. Thus, Adam, as the first human being, would have within him all the variations of physical characteristics present in humanity, resulting from intermixing throughout history. The message of the Bible is that we all, regardless of our heritage, language, or appearance, are brothers, descendants of Noah. This view emphasizes unity and equality among human beings, regardless of their physical or cultural differences. May God bless, and see you soon.